Section 6.5, passing objects as argument. This section is pretty straightforward. Now we get into a stage that we have the ability to create different classes and create new classes containing the previously created class, and continue to build up the scale and the scope of our solution. So it involves passing those arguments around the smaller scope class objects to in between the larger entities. It's kind of like nature, right? House is built of timber and bricks, and then we build up to rooms, and then we build up the shell and become a house, and many houses become a village become a township, and then become a whole the planet, and so on. So that it's at different level. We have different scale, but the basic build-up is the same, but with different purpose. So what we have here is pretty much saying that, okay, now you know how to build a class and how to instantiate that. How are we going to build it up? So to build it up is that we are building the larger entity, the class of larger entity, with smaller objects of smaller scaled class. And as what I just described, the brick and timber to the room to the house to the village, right? That's each level. They add different components in. And so how do we do that? We need to be able to have the square the square brick working with the rectangle brick, and different types of stone material has to work together to build the wall, or you use a timber, and with the wall we build a room, right? So these are the stages, and so we need to pass things around. So like I need to get 10,000 bricks, and so I can build a house. So we need to pass 10,000 bricks to the housing constructions. And the message, I mean the example that we have is like we are going to make a die, and so the die is going to be, I mean, the die argument, right? It's made up, whatever that means. It's just a name. It has an entity that is going to be using dies, and the die was created prior to this one, and so we know die has the different arguments, and so it has a size and sides and other parameters. So we created, in this case, we created two instances, and the die argument actually has a roll die method called, and the roll die method are defined in the die argument, and so on and so forth. So that's the relationship between one class to another one. And this relationship, we are talking about the die argument versus die, is the containment relationship, which die argument contains the contains the die, and just object relationship. And so what it means is we creating this one here, and this whole thing is die argument, and die argument contains die of 6 phase and die of 20 phase. All right, and the arguments is passing to here. Okay, and so that's pretty much what we are just going to go through. And here we create a game of Chohan, and using the die and the same technique, but just elaborate more. And it even have, and so this is the summary of what we are doing here. Is we are going to create a dealer that has uh, two dies, and the dealer will have the constructors and setters and getters, and also a cho or hand uh, method, and that's kind of all set ready to get to the so we can get to this one. So we can get to this one. That's the whole idea. All right. I think that's pretty much it, and the rest is just common syntax that we already learned. And I will see you in the next sections.